Hello and welcome back to EduBridge IS. I am Vishal Singh and this is the third day in our History MCQ series where we discuss 10 previous years questions every day. Of course, all the topics being covered in these questions are going to be covered in detail in our GS History Foundation course beginning on the 10th of September. You can join this course by visiting our website, the link to which is given in the description below the video. Let us look at question number 1. Wellesley established the Fort William College at Calcutta because A. He was asked by the board of directors at London to do so. B. He wanted to revive interest in Oriental learning in India. C. He wanted to provide William Carey and his associates with employment. Or D. He wanted to train British civilians for administrative purpose in India. The correct answer is D. The Fort William College was established in 1800 by Lord Wellesley for the purpose of training British civil servants in India. So British civil servants from all the three presidencies, that is Bombay, Madras and Calcutta, were required to attend the Fort William College for a period of 3 years, and here they would receive training in administration as well as the Indian languages. We are not talking about Sanskrit or Persian, we are talking about the language spoken by the masses, that is Hindi and उर्दू. तो हिंदी और उर्दू में ट्रेन करने के लिए यहाँ पे एक डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ ट्रांसलेशन सेटअप किया गया. द पर्पज़ ऑफ विच वॉज टू ट्रांसलेट क्लासिकल इंडियन टेक्स्ट फ्रॉम पर्शियन एंड संस्कृत इनटू हिंदी एंड उर्दू. राइट, लेकिन इस कॉलेज को बहुत ज़्यादा समय के लिए फंक्शन नहीं करने दिया गया एंड इट वॉज शट डाउन इन 1802. वाई? क्योंकि जो ब्रिटेन में कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स थे कंपनी के, दे वर कंसर्न्ड that training civil servants in India would cause a shift of loyalties from London to Calcutta. They did not want this to happen. Alright, so I hope this is clear. Next question. Consider the following statements about the Charter Act of 1813. 1. It ended the trade monopoly of the East India Company in India except for trade in tea and trade with China. 2. It asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. And 3. The revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. We have to tell which of these statements are correct. Let us look at statement number 1. It ended the trade monopoly of the East India Company in India except for trade in tea and trade with China. So the company had been enjoying an exclusive monopoly over trade with India since 1600. The charter awarded to the company in 1600 by the British Queen Elizabeth I had allowed it to enjoy this monopoly, right? But since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in the 1760s, a free trade movement had started in Britain, and the calls for ending the company's monopoly were growing louder and louder. And finally, in 1813, its monopoly was partially ended. So its monopoly was ended in all commodities except for trade in tea and trade with China. So statement 1 is correct. Next statement, it asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. This statement is also true. तो कंपनी को उसके सारे राइट्स किसने दिए थे? चार्टर के थ्रू ब्रिटिश क्राउन ने दिए थे. एंड हर बार जब भी ये चार्टर रिन्यू किया जाता था, सो अगेन दैट ब्रिटिश सॉवरेनिटी वॉज असर्टेड. इट सेड कि द ब्रिटिश क्राउन इज अलाउइंग द कंपनी to govern India, to hold India's territories on its behalf. It does not mean that the company is sovereign. Sovereign कौन है? ब्रिटिश क्राउन ही है, लेकिन अभी वो डायरेक्टली रूल नहीं कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. स्टेटमेंट 3. The revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. This was not the case. Parliamentary control over Indian revenues did not begin until after the start of Crown's rule, that is after 1858. Okay, so in 1813 the revenues of India were very much in the hands of the company with no parliamentary oversight. So the correct answer is A, 1 and 2 only. Third question, which one of the following statements does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley? A, to maintain a large standing army at others' expense. B, to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger. C, to secure a fixed income for the company. Or D, to establish British paramountcy over the Indian states. To answer this question, you have to understand the contemporary political scenario in India and Europe and the changing British economic interests. The industrial revolution was accelerating, and what did the industrialists want? They wanted greater access to Indian raw material and Indian markets. How could the company have achieved this? By establishing paramountcy over the surrounding native Indian states. It could have done this either through war or by signing an unequal alliance. The company chose the second option because wars are costly and the company wanted to conserve its resources. So subsidiary alliance system was introduced to establish British paramountcy over the Indian states. This was one of its objectives. अच्छा, on the other hand, यूरोप में क्या सिचुएशन थी? Napoleon had come to power in France and very quickly all of Europe had fallen to him. He was also threatening British economic and imperial interests overseas, including in India. Tipu Sultan was also becoming increasingly friendly with the French. So the threat of a Napoleonic invasion was quite strong. In order to prevent this, the subsidiary alliance system was introduced. Now, how could British paramountcy and prevention of a Napoleonic invasion be practically achieved? It would have required a build-up of British military strength all over the subcontinent. So one of the main provisions of a subsidiary alliance treaty was that जो भी इंडियन स्टेट अंग्रेज़ों के साथ ये subsidiary alliance treaty साइन करेगा, that state would have to agree to host a contingent of the company's troops in its own territory. बोला गया that it is for their own protection, but actually कंपनी के मंसूबे कुछ और थे. और इसका खर्चा कौन उठाएगा? Not the company, but that native state. So this allowed the company to build up its military presence all over the subcontinent without incurring any extra expense to itself. Okay, so in this manner, the British were able to establish their paramountcy over the entire Indian subcontinent. I hope this is clear. Now, the subsidiary alliance system did not have anything to do with securing a fixed income for the company. So the correct answer is option C. Okay? Next question. Satya Shodhak Samaj organized a movement for upliftment of tribals in Bihar, B, a temple entry movement in Gujarat, C, an anti-caste movement in Maharashtra, or D, a peasant movement in Punjab. तो सत्य शोधक समाज क्या था? It was an anti-upper caste movement and a movement to uplift the Dalits, the scheduled castes in Maharashtra. Right, so correct answer is C. Who was the founder of this movement? Jyotiba Phule. Alright, so the correct answer is C. Next question. The national motto of India, Satyamev Jayate, inscribed below the emblem of India, is taken from A. Katha Upanishad, B. Chandogya Upanishad, C. Aitreya Upanishad, and D. Mundaka Upanishad. So the correct answer is D. Mundaka Upanishad. सत्यमेव जयते जो फ्रेज है ये मुंडका उपनिषद में मेंशन्ड है और यहीं से हमारे नेशनल एम्ब्लेम में इसको इंक्लूड किया गया है. ऑल राइट, इट मीन्स द ट्रूथ ऑलवेज प्रिवेल्स. तो उपनिषद्स होती क्या हैं? दे आर अ पार्ट ऑफ वैदिक लिटरेचर. अब हर वेद के 4 पार्ट्स होते हैं, नोन एज द संहिता, ब्राह्मणा, अरण्यका एंड उपनिषद. सो द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ द वेदास इज नोन एज उपनिषद्स. दीज आर द फिलोसॉफिकल पार्ट्स ऑफ द वेदा, जहाँ पे डिस्कस क्या किया जाता है? The metaphysical relationship between man and God, nature of universe, the idea of the soul, life after death, ये सारी चीज़ें डिस्कस करी जाती हैं. ऑलराइट, तो टोटल देर आर 108 उपनिषद्स, लेकिन इसमें से 13 उपनिषद्स को मेजर उपनिषद्स कंसिडर किया जाता है. जो 4 नाम यहाँ पे मेंशन्ड हैं, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर मेजर उपनिषद्स. कथा उपनिषद में क्या मेंशन किया गया है? इट रिलेट्स द स्टोरी ऑफ यम एंड नचिकेत. Right, so it is a philosophical discussion about life after death. चंदोग्य उपनिषद में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ मेंशन करी गई है? The idea that अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, that I am Brahma, and तत्वम असि, that art thou, that I am Brahma and so are you. ये चंदोग्य उपनिषद में मेंशन किया गया है. Further, under the Hindu belief system, a person's life is considered to be divided into 4 stages. इनको 4 आश्रम्स बोला जाता है. These are the ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ, वानप्रस्थ एंड संन्यास आश्रम. तो जो पहले 3 हैं इसमें, that is ब्रह्मचर्य, गृहस्थ एंड वानप्रस्थ, they have been mentioned in the चंदोग्य उपनिषद. जो फोर्थ आश्रम है संन्यास, दैट इज मेंशन्ड इन एन अदर उपनिषद नोन एज द जवाला उपनिषद. ऑल राइट. अच्छा, ऐत्रेय उपनिषद इज एसोसिएटेड विद द ऋग्वेद. यहाँ पे क्या मेंशन किया गया है? द आइडिया दैट ब्रह्मा इज कॉन्शियसनेस, प्रजनम ब्रह्मा. राइट, दिस इज मेंशन्ड इन द ऐत्रेय उपनिषद. एंड ऑफ कोर्स मुंडका उपनिषद में सत्यमेव जयते का कॉन्सेप्ट मेंशन किया गया है. ऑल राइट. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. The painting of Bodhisattva Padampani is one of the famous and oft illustrated paintings at A. Ajanta, B. Badami, C. Bagh और D. Ellora. The correct answer is A. Ajanta. यहाँ पे केव नंबर 1 में बोधिसत्वा पदम्पनी का एक बहुत फेमस गुप्ता ईरा का फ्रेस्को है. So who were the bodhisattvas? They were people who had attained nirvana or enlightenment but had delayed the attainment of Mahaparinirvana, that is freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth, in order to guide others onto the path of enlightenment. Right. So one such bodhisattva was Padampani और इनका फ्रेस्को हमें अजंता में देखने के लिए मिलता है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Which one of the following is not a Harappan site? Chanhudaro, Kodiji, Sohagora or Desalpur. Now even if you are not familiar with the details of each of these sites, लेकिन अगर आपको ज्योग्राफी का थोड़ा बहुत ज्ञान है, you could have easily answered this question. चानुदारो, कोटदीजी और देसलपुर कहाँ पे हैं? चानुदारो एंड कोटदीजी आर बोथ इन सिंध एंड देसलपुर इज इन गुजरात. सोहागौरा कहाँ पर है? इट इज़ लोकेटेड नियर गोरखपुर. अच्छा, हरप्पन सिविलाइजेशन का जो जियोग्राफिक एक्सटेंट था, तो इट वाज स्प्रेड ओवर प्रेजेंट डे पाकिस्तान एंड द नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न एंड वेस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. ये गोरखपुर तक नहीं एक्सटेंड करता था. ईस्टर्न मोस्ट बाउंड्री, ईस्टर्न मोस्ट साइट ऑफ द हरप्पन सिविलाइजेशन वॉज आलमगीरपुर. राइट, कहाँ पे लोकेटेड है ये? इट इज़ लोकेटेड इन प्रेजेंट डे मेरठ. तो सोहगौरा कुड नॉट हैव बीन अ हरप्पन साइट. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. विद रेफरेंस टू द हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स. 3 पेयर्स यहाँ पे मेंशन्ड हैं and we have to tell which of them are correctly matched. 1. Aurang, in charge of treasury of the state. This is incorrectly matched. Aurang was a Persian word जिसका मतलब होता था warehouse या फिर godown. So this was a place where the finished goods were stored before being sold. So 1 is incorrect. 2. Bunyan, Indian agent of the East India Company. This is correctly matched. तो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के जो ऑफिशियल्स थे, दे वर नॉट वेरी वेल वर्स्ड विद इंडियन कंडीशंस, सो दे नीडेड इंडियन एजेंट्स टू ट्रेड ऑन देयर बिहाफ. तो इन इंडियन एजेंट्स को बोला जाता था बनियन. दे एक्टेड नॉट ओनली एज इंटरमीडियरीज बिटवीन द इंडियन मर्चेंट्स एंड द कंपनी बट ऑल्सो एज ट्रांसलेटर्स एंड इंटरप्रेटर्स. ऑल राइट, इनको अलग अलग नामों से भी जाना जाता था, सच एज दे वर ऑल्सो नोन एज गोमुश्ताज. Right, so second pair is correctly matched. Third pair, Mirasidar, designated revenue pair to the state. Now this term Mirasidar is associated with the Rayatwari settlement. Rayatwari settlement में क्या होता था? The company entered into an agreement with the peasant directly. तो यहाँ पे कोई मिडिल मैन की गुंजाइश नहीं होती थी, जैसे कि परमानेंट सेटलमेंट में ज़मींदार होता था. लेकिन इसको ठीक से इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया गया कई जगहों पे. इन सेवरल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स जो विलेज में सबसे बड़ा लैंड होल्डर होता था, उसको डेजिग्नेट कर दिया जाता था एज द रेवेन्यू पेयर ऑफ द स्टेट. तो अग्रीमेंट यूज टू टेक प्लेस नॉट बिटवीन द इंडिविजुअल पेजेंट एंड द कंपनी बट बिटवीन दिस डेजिग्नेटेड रेवेन्यू पेयर. और इस डेजिग्नेटेड रेवेन्यू पेयर को क्या बोला जाता था? ही वॉज कॉल्ड मिरासीदार. सो थर्ड पेयर इज ऑल्सो मैच्ड करेक्टली. द करेक्ट आंसर इज बी, 2 and 3 only. Next question. Who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to album and individual portrait? हुमायूं, अकबर, जहांगीर और शाहजहां. तो हुमायूं के पीरियड में पेंटिंग बस शुरू ही हुई थी, मच्योर नहीं हो पाई थी. द रियल बिगनिंग ऑफ मुगल पेंटिंग टुक प्लेस ड्यूरिंग द रेन ऑफ अकबर. एंड अकबर was quite interested in the illustration of manuscripts. So famous literary works were illustrated during his reign, such as the Mahabharata, जिसको illustrate किया गया in the form of the रज़्मनामा. The Chronicles of Chinggis Khan, जिसको चंगेज़नामा के नाम से illustrate किया गया. The Mythical Tales of अमीर हमज़ा, जिसको दास्ताने अमीर हमज़ा के नाम से illustrate किया गया. But Jahangir was more interested in individual portraits and albums. So during his reign, a number of portraits were painted of himself and other contemporary notables. So correct answer is C. Jahangir. And last question, with reference to the economic history of medieval India, the term Arghat refers to A. Bonded labor, B. Land grants made to military officers, C. Water wheel used in irrigation of land, or D. Wasteland converted to cultivated land. The correct answer is C. Water wheel used in the irrigation of land. So when the Turks invaded India, they brought a number of new technologies with them, right? One of these technologies was known as the Persian water wheel or sakia. This was a device for lifting water. जब इस साकिया में गियर मैकेनिज्म को अटैच कर दिया गया तो what would that allow? It would allow for changing the direction of movement, the direction of force to be applied to the wheel, and this allowed the use of animal power to lift water. इस नए डिवाइस को बोला गया अर्घट और Rahat, right? So Sakya, the original Persian wheel, and Arghat, the modified Persian wheel, were both introduced to India by the Delhi Sultanate. अच्छा, इसके पहले इंडिया में क्या यूज़ किया जाता था इरिगेशन करने के लिए, वाटर को लिफ्ट करने के लिए? वन वॉज द सिंपल रोप पुली एंड बकेट मैकेनिज्म, जिसको चरसा बोला जाता था, एंड द अदर वॉज द लीवर मैकेनिज्म नोन एज द ढेकली. तो बिफोर द सल्तनत, Charsa and Dhekli, and after the establishment of the Sultanate, the Sakya and Arghat were used for lifting water. So that is it for today. I hope you found the video useful, and I'll see you again tomorrow with a new set of questions. Till then, good luck and Jai Hind.